and welcome to another episode of Motors for the Masses, the Biker Bob build. That's what I'm calling it now.
Biker Bob build.
Biker Bob build. Would you like to see what we do with this? If the answer is yes, then stay tuned and roll the intro. If the answer is no, hand over. No. Malcolm!
Yes.
Fetch the donut.
Donut. Sounds a bit like donut.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. I like donuts.
Come on.
Come in here.
Donut. Look. Donut box.
Looks suspiciously like that one.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. And no, it's not a Sinis Cruise Star. It is a Regal Raptor made by AJS, but it's pretty much the same bike. We are going to rob stuff off this and put it on that. That's all I have to say for now. Close the door.
Yeah.
So, we already know we are going to take the clocks off this and put it on here, and I say clocks, clock, and we're going to take off the brake reservoir because that works perfectly on that bike, and put it on this one as well.
Might even steal them.
No, we've already ordered them.
Have we? Right,
Yeah.
still in there.
I've already ordered 2 brand new side panels. I'm not putting that for to go on here. So there's 2 new side panels coming on here, and the first thing we're going to do is cut them up. Well, one of them anyway.
A bit, yeah.
Yes, because we have to put our air box and our air filter cone on this side. So for now, let's move this bike out of the way, and we'll show you what we're going to do with the mudguard and the seat. Hello. Definitely with the seat. So first things first, the mudguards. Well, Malcolm has a mudguard, which we got off Charlie. Thank you very much, Charlie. Charlie knows who he is if he's watching. It's slightly too big at the moment, but we're going to cut it down so it mounts at the bottom here and ends in the middle, so we can mount our light on the back. And what are we doing with this black acetal?
PDE or something?
Acetal,
HDPE.
Acetal high density long grade APE 500
HDPE.
rod. Yeah, that.
Plastic.
Well, what we're going to do is we've taken note of the comments we had in our last video, and we thank you for that. We also looked at the side of the bike and thought it looks stupid having spring and then spring on the seat. It just doesn't look right. So what we're going to do is get rid of this pivot because it also looks too high at this front end. We're going to get rid of that pivot, and we're going to put a small block in there to mount it to, and we're going to get rid of these 2 springs at the back and put in 2 2-inch or so blocks instead. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to mount this mudguard.
As you can see, our mudguard is way too long, and it is actually slightly too narrow, which isn't a big deal because it's also got the wrong radius to go around our wheel. So we're going to cut it to length, so it goes from the point on the swing arm round to where we want it to end on here, and then we're going to squash it, which will make the radius less but the width more, so that will sit over the tyre nicely. And then the bit we've cut off we're going to use to make a nice new mudguard for the front. Right, so we've put the nice end of our guard where we want it down here, so that we can mark up here where we want to cut it, and we've decided we want just past the centre, so here as our centre. So when we cut this off, we'll just make a straight cut on there. When we flip it around, we'll have the nice end up here and the not so nice end down there for our bracket. So we're now going to cut this off. Good start.
Okay, so once that's stretched out, that should sit nicely low on the tyre.
Yeah. Oh, we might need to get something in there. Right, so we flared out the sides a bit, to make this bit wider and therefore pull in the ends. So I was getting there. Look at that.
Nice.
Looking quite nice.
Yeah. Not sure it's supposed to actually stick
No,
to the...
that's pretty well on that tyre right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. It's on there well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Might have a bit of issues when you're riding though. Brilliant. Oh dear.
There we go.
Yay! Needs slightly more rolling.
Yes.
Brilliant. What you can't see is that he's using his foot. This is technology at its best, look.
Yeah. When it goes a little bit further than you want it to initially.
Who needs a £1,000 machine when you've got a foot?
So you go a bit further initially and sort of bend it wrong, but then you can just tap that back with a hammer.
Right.
And it fits. So that's better. It's a looser fit now, look.
Yeah, it comes off now.
Yeah, so we're getting that. And if you look at how that's now snug in the tyre, it's almost the same radius.
Yeah, it's nice. So if you put it in the position where it's going to be,
It's approximately there.
thusly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move you back and you can have a look.
That is pretty much where it's going to be.
It is obviously going to be around about there, like so.
Well, there wants to be about 10mm clearance around the tyre.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's more than 10mm.
It's near as damn it, Mr. Pedantic.
Where I had it was about 10mm.
No, you didn't. Where you had it was on the tyre.
The bit in the middle was. This isn't. This is where I'm aiming for. This gap here now, what you can see there,
Right.
that's what I want, all the way around it.
Is it?
Yeah.
What you want?
Yep.
Is it all about what you want?
That bit is.
Is it?
Yep.
Not what the viewer wants.
Nope.
What would you like, Mr. and Mrs. Viewer? Or Miss Viewer? Moose Viewer?
I'm curious as to how many comments will come back. Oh, 12mm.
Right, okay, so bracket wise, we are going to put a small bracket about so big between here and here. Now we can't make that bracket yet, simply because we don't know what we're doing with the airbox arrangement, so we don't know.
Well, the Mudguard bracket, that we can probably knock something up.
Yeah,
Because that's just going to go on the swing arm, in there somewhere. And then this end.
What I'm saying is, rather than use a bracket, we could use a piece of that acetal block and put a block in there, screw it one end and screw it into here the other end. Is that background tube?
I would rather use that just as a spacer and just drill a hole through it and put a bolt right through the whole lot. It's one bolt.
Yeah, what I'm saying is we could use that instead of making up a piece of metal bracket.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a bit flimsy.
Well, maybe. I was just going to go from like one side to the other side with an arc in the middle. And
Right, now with this in mind,
and then a hoop.
yeah, I was going to say, how are we going to mount it on the other side? We're putting a hoop over here.
Yeah, because then the light, etc., will be attached to that hoop rather than
Right,
this.
which means we have to cut these off.
Indicators.
Yeah, are we doing that?
I thought it was quite a good idea. There's a good use for a bracket that's already there.
It is, but it's quite large.
Let's see what happens with the seat.
Yeah, okay, alright.
And then,
Well, let's not carry on with this for now. Let's put this to one side for a second.
yeah, I will fettle that
Yes.
when I get a chance before the next video and make it so it fits nicely on that.
Yeah,
tyre.
and we'll use some of that acetal block to make the bracket up on the bottom here. We also need to make a bar like we did on the 404 to go round here, but that needs to be rounded with the same as that. So we need to know the exact shape of this before we do that bar. For now, let's see what we can do with this seat. Brilliant. Finished.
There you go.
Take it away.
Let's go with the rustic look too.
Okay, onto the clock then. Wheeling the donut.
The donor is wheeled. And the brakes work.
Right, we need that off there and on there. 10mm?
Good luck finding one of those.
Yeah, 10mm are elusive and vacant. Undo this, 8mm on one end, 10mm on the other. Slide out the bar and slide out the bracket. That was easy, wasn't it? Right. Rather than wheel it through, I'm going to take the speedo drive out of this. No, I'm going to take the tank off to get to the wires.
It might just be underneath it.
No, they're alongside it, I can see them.
Yeah.
They're squashed in. Okay, speedo drive is out from this end. So, to get the tank undone, you have to undo this rear piece, then undo the seat, then undo this seat, then undo the tank. What a pain in the rectum. Huh? Hello?
Just a pain in general.
Ah, just checking.
Yeah. You just do a crack in the seal.
That's exactly what I was doing, yes, cracking the seal. I hope the seal doesn't mind. Hello. Right, all that just so I can get to these bloomin' screws. Oh, yes.
That was just a normal grease on it.
Right. Really?
Same two knobs there,
Am I going the right way?
yeah.
Not that way?
You're not anymore,
No. Alright.
you're right the first time.
Oh, every time. I know it's lefty loosey and tighty righty, whatever it is, or righty tighty.
Yeah. So what are you forgetting? The loose and tight, or the left and right?
I don't know. In my moment of madness, my brain is thinking about other things. I'll go with that.
Okay.
Yay! Lefty loosey. Right, all that just to get the bloody tank off.
Remember your fuel lines and whatnot.
Yeah, it's all.
Assist.
There we go. Hello.
That was already off.
No fuel lines attached.
Oh, it's just pinged out. Oh, the fuel filter's broken.
Ah,
Excellent.
right. Problem solved.
Yep.
Right, all that just to get to the wiring.
Oh, that's what we were doing, wasn't it?
Oh, which goes inside the bloody frame.
There we go. Do the business.
Right.
Oh, it's stuck.
I'm assuming the connection is the same on the other side. It's off!
I think we now need to take the tank off of this one to get to the wiring for the clock.
Which leads me back to my previous comment of, let's do the seat next. See? I was right.
No, I just felt that we should do something that was...
There you go, it's on. It works. Yay! Fixed.
Might need to have it.
Right, let's ditch the donor.
Yeah, the donor can go away. There's a table there, look, and a seat to sit on. Here. Look at that. That's quite comfortable. Good stuff.
Of course, before we do, we have to remove the speedo drive cable, which is just one screw holding it in the end. And then once that's undone,
Possibly.
should just slide out. Right, we might just buy a new speedo drive cable.
Is it still turning or is that good?
No, it's still turning, it's rusted.
Oh, right.
Right, new speedo drive cable.
Yep, they're only cheap.
Yeah, they're not dramatic.
Or whatever. Bye bye donor for now. I'm sure we'll see you again.
So with the seat, what we're going to do is take the seat off, and I want to see what it looks like with that bung in the bottom here, rather than this massive gap, because I don't think that looks right personally. So let's take this off and see where we go. Have you got a 13mm ratchet spanner there, please? There you go. See, this is where I get confused, doing upside down stuff backwards.
It's the opposite, isn't it?
get this off, you'll see what I mean. It's off!
Excellent.
Yeah, that's too high. I'm not sure about that angle at all.
It sounded pretty dramatic.
That's too much. That is too much of a gap. That should be almost flat on there, I think.
It works when it's a pivot for a springy seat, but we don't need it as a springy seat.
No, so I think, so if we ditch this bracket altogether and just put this bolt through there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right, let's do that then.
That's where the tank bolts are. This nut and bolt out, and we'll make these tabs bend up so that bolts straight to it, so they'll only be just over half an inch
The
gap.
problem is, if we bend that right up, they're going to snap off.
Well, they're probably in the wrong place anyway, so we'll bend up a new bit because it's going to be closer together, and we'll drill new holes in there too.
So we're going to have to weld a piece onto this.
No, we'll just bend them flat, cut it a little bit, bend it up so it's two new tabs or longer tabs, and drill new holes so they're lower.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's put the seat bracket under here.
Ah, I see. So that goes under there,
Yeah.
and then that bolts.
And then we'll make a new tab lower. Make a lower version of this, and it bolts straight onto there.
Yeah. Well, all it needs is to come literally straight out and straight down. The issue with that though is that if we do that, how are we going? I'm just worried about that gap. That gap's too big. It looks silly.
Yeah.
It needs to be. Like that.
Well, how about we put that bracket back on top of the tank, and we'll make it. Young man.
Hello, Patrick.
I have
Patrick's arrived.
Hey, internet.
Right, where's Mummy?
Mummy's inside.
Is she? On her phone?
And her phone again.
On her phone again.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
She'll always do that.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah. An idea.
Go on.
We make a small piece of metal bracket with two holes, right? One we bolt into here.
Yes.
Then we push that through and bolt to the seat. So then it'll sit like that.
How's about just a little bit of a change on what you've just said?
Right.
Use this as your bracket, bolt it onto there like it was before, drill a couple of holes in it, or a hole in it, and bang a nut straight onto there.
Even better.
Yeah? Because
Yeah.
it won't have this gap because the bracket will be on top. So you can take it out of there and put it back on there, and you'll see where you're at.
Okay, so basically that, like you say, the tank goes down, that goes on top like so,
Yeah, and then that straight
bolt
through
that
there,
down,
through there.
and we just drill a hole. In fact, there you go, problem solved.
That almost fits, so yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that. We'll pull it back a touch, that'll be okay. We'll probably get a nut on the back of there.
Well, it won't,
Why not?
because you've got this bit here.
So I'll cut that off.
So you'll cut in there like that, cut a pivot out.
Just cut a notch out of it, cut the back off of it, whatever. That tab doesn't need to be there, just zip straight across it.
Will it not weaken this?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, because of the strength is this side, and that'll be fine.
Right, so we're going to mount that back on there like so, straighten these tabs out, put that through there. We are going to cut this piece off because this bit that juts out prevents us putting another one in there, like so, in there. So we're going to put that on there, mount it, and then we're going to bolt that straight down through there, like so, and bolt it on the bottom of the seat.
And you'll be able to get that just through the frame.
Yeah, through the frame you can get onto that. And then we are then going to change these. Look at the angle on them now, look. So we'll just put in blocks about so big just to lower this seat down a little bit because that's way too high there. All right, we have a plan.
We have a plan.
Let's do that plan.
That's no good. We'll be doing that then. I was about to cut that off of there, but that's petrol. So now I'm not going to cut that off of there. Instead, I'm going to remove the springs to make it a bit easier to deal with. I tell you what, I'd forgotten how much of an absolute faff getting these springs on and off was. Absolute nightmare. I really don't recommend it. Once you've got this far, it's not so bad because you can just twizzle it and stuff, but when you've got them sandwiched, nightmare. There you go, we are springless. Yay.
Yay! And whilst we're waiting for that fuel to dissipate, I'm going to mount this light. Now, the speedo drive has to go through this hole, so we're only going to loosely do it. I keep saying light, it's not a light, it's a clock.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, it's not that way, is it?
Well, I suppose the people in front of you can see how quickly we're going.
Oh dear. What a bell end.
With the absence of the piece of tank at the back, which I haven't yet cut off due to the fuel on the floor, that will sit in there, but a little lower. However, the tank bolt is still sitting quite high, and it will prevent that from going down any kind of reasonable distance.
Right.
But we can shave at least a third of that off, because that's a big dome on the top of that. So we can lose the dome and some of the nut part.
Can I not just get a different
down.
nut?
On this.
Yeah.
What for? Just shave that one on the grinder.
What's the point in doing that? We just get a smaller nut. Does it not weaken it if you grind the nut off?
You're only grinding the top of the head off.
Alright.
That would be super duper. But there's no way of making that a recess in there, so that'll sit there, down a little bit, and then we'll make our blocks at the back. And we'll bend these in line so they're pointing in the right direction.
So it's pretty much going to go straight through that block.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that is where our seat will be, and that is where our mudguard will be. That sits much nicer than it was last week.
Absolutely. Let me come over here so we get more of the bike.
And we've got the clocks on there now as well.
Yeah.
Clock. Do you not think that clock is too big?
No. Is you happy? He looks happy.
Is you happy?
Is you happy, isn't it?
I am happy. Hot, but happy.
Is it hot day?
So at this stage, what we want to do is ask you, viewers, are you happy with this? Before we go any further, what you don't want to do is mount it like we did last week and go, oh, not happy with it. Are you happy with our suggestions? So we're going to put a bend across the back of this and bend it up. So these two bolts will actually almost touch each other. Then put the blocks in with the hole that goes all the way through the middle. That way the seat will sit pretty much where it is now. This will be slightly off here like that. Yeah, so I'm reluctant to do the seat again without everyone in internet land saying, yes, that's good, go for it. If you have any other suggestions, let us know. Would you do something else? Now please, no suggestions on a mono shock because we're not going down that route. We actually like the look of these double shocks and I think it works well with this bobber style. So if you're a little bit confused about what we mean about the blocks, it's this acetal rod that we're using. It's solid plastic, and with these bent up, say these two rods will touch, and then we'll have a 2-inch.
Well, what I'll actually do is I'm going to cut these studs out of here, because we'll cut a piece of that 2-inch, like you say, we'll thread it and screw it onto the seat base. I'm not going to thread
And
the
then
seat.
put a nut and bolt through the bottom.
And then put a bolt through the bottom into the block here.
Okay, so there'll be a 2-inch gap basically through there, like so, on each side. 2 inches on this, one on this side and one block on this side. And then that will bolt through the bottom, on the front end there. So in the next episode of this build, we will cut these blocks and mount that seat for good. And we will make the bracket to mount here. We're going to use, again, another piece of this block to space out between the swing arm and the mudguard. And we will get our rod and make the bracket for here. Now with that, we're still not 100% sure how we're going to do it, simply because to do it, we've got to put the rod over and go either side and onto the swing arm. What I don't want is something to look huge and cumbersome. But I don't know how that's going to work because it's going to look huge. It's going to be massive over here.
Maybe we'll come from here and tuck in and come up and make something a bit convoluted and mad.
But then you've got a chain on this side.
Yeah, we'll go around. We'll figure something out. We'll figure it out. Maybe go through the chain and the other side of it or something. I don't know.
How about a rod going from the middle of the handlebars over the rider and then bolt underneath to the middle of that?
Brilliant. You get enough flex in it, I would imagine.
we've got some thinking to do. Last thing we want to do is make this haphazard and a bit crap.
Yeah.
So, please join us next time when we'll be back with more bike reviews, and we'll be back on Bob and we'll be back on the Mustang. The Cortina is coming soon, but we're not quite sure what's happening with that at the moment. It's all down to time. We're struggling for time. We've also got... Oh yes! It's already out. Go and have a look. We did a special promo video for AJS motorcycles. It's on our website, and it's going to be on AJS's website, and we think they're going to be knocking it out to customers all over the country. So go and take a look at that and see what you think. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for joining us. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments section below. If you have anything else to say, leave us a message on Facebook.
Or phone your mum.
Well, depends what they want to talk about. If they want to talk about us, well, you could do. You could phone your mum and talk about us. Be a bit weird, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so until next time, please ride and drive carefully, click the bell and all that.
But have fun.
Bye!